Hello, welcome once again to this Anglia Soccer Special, when once more we concentrate on the weekend's action from this region. The special feature today, the very lively top-of-the-table First Division battle, Norwich versus Chelsea.
And Phillips, another brilliant Besant save.
And in contrast, we should be looking back in our weekly attack of nostalgia at two or three of the great Norwich goal scorers.
It's out to Punton. Punton across, and Burton has scored a great goal.
But the rest of the region's teams will not be forgotten, far from it. Kevin Piper will have news, not totally good news, I'm afraid, and plenty of goals from their games. But first of all, though, Carrow Road, the all-ticket game between Norwich City, who started the weekend fourth in the table, against Chelsea, who were second.
Well, Norwich are unchanged for the 7th consecutive match, unbeaten this season in 10 games. And they'd be top of the First Division if they hadn't drawn all their home games so far. So can they break the spell of Carrow Road, which looks as if it's becoming a psychological barrier? Well, if they play with the panache and style that Mark Bowen's shown this season, stopping goals, making goals, scoring them, they're sure to be fine. But he's one of a handful of players who, like Andy Townsend, have been on World Cup international duty in midweek. Will that affect their performance here? Chelsea, one league defeat in 8 games, have carried the winning habit into the First Division after walking away with promotion last season. Very strong through the middle of the field, although the absence of Graham Roberts and Gordon Dury hasn't helped them. These are good times then for Kerry Dixon, the Luton lad so long in dispute with Chelsea, but now firing on all cylinders and chasing Bobby Tambling's club goal-scoring record. And for Kevin Jockey Wilson, a favourite at Ipswich, where he often pops in as a visitor and enjoying the opportunity of First Division football once again, is currently their leading scorer. The referee is Trevor Simpson. He expected to be controlling a match in the 3rd Division of the Halifax and District League today, but because of injury to Keith Hackett, here he is at the top of the First Division. So it's Norwich City to kick off here on a very blustery day indeed. Norwich anxious to get it right at home, but knowing that there's danger in that anxiety would make matters worse for them. Daft defensive lapses have made life difficult for them, but if they worry too much about that, they'll lose that confidence which has made them such an attractive side. Chelsea, a better away record than home form. The system might have something to do with that. Caught napping in the Cup at Scarborough, but a 4-1 win at Spurs probably more significant. Obviously Rosario's the man to aim for, but the wind's swirling it away. Rosario gets in there to challenge. Fleck can't get there. Away by Peter Nicholas. Butterworth. Mark Bowen. So a really good start to the season so far. Townsend already assured of a place in the World Cup finals. Bumstead is playing at right back. Cut out. And here's Phillips again for Norwich. Bumstead getting ahead to that. Townsend. That's a nice ball into the middle to Rosario. Can he turn it up? Will he have a go himself? And he finds Fleck. And here it goes, Townsend. And past the post it goes. What a lovely move when that ball was pushed forward to Robert Rosario. He held it up well. Fleck then got into a good position. Townsend is coming through the middle. It seemed like the perfect opportunity, but he couldn't get it cleanly with either foot. Up goes Rosario. Nice touch down to Dale Gordon. Can he get by Tony Dorigo? Ian Crook. Fleck did well. Dale Gordon against Dorigo. Dorigo's very, very fast. And he did well to make up those lost 2 or 3 yards and get the tackle in. So it's a corner then to Norwich. And their defenders will come up to Butterworth. In goes Rosario. In comes Linnigan. And Hazard has a free header, but only to Phillips. Townsend, Crook. Dale Gordon's got a bit of space. Crook now with even more space. It's a good cross. Rosario's there. Just leaning away from it, but it was nice build-up by Norwich on that right-hand side, and the ball just going away from him. Very coolly played by these two players. Crook lumps one in. Rosario's always having to go away from it before he could get a touch. Now, Dorigo changing it. Bumstead, not normally a right back, but because of the injuries, having to slot into that position. Clark forward, that's a good ball in for Kerry Dixon. Lovely ball. Kerry Dixon, a great save by Gunn. That was a superb bit of play by Brian Gunn and by Dixon and Clark. A lovely ball forward from Steve Clark all the way from the back. Kerry Dixon first time, and that's great goalkeeping. Free kick to Norwich. As Fleck pushed that ball away, and Crook takes one forward nicely to Rosario. Quick thinking, good control, but he needs support now. Rosario still has it, and there's space here for Ian Crook. Will he have a go? It's blocked at the moment. Phillips, Chelsea gathering on the edge of the area, but Townsend's made a good run, and Bumstead a good tackle. Throw for Norwich. Townsend, Nicholas behind him. Phillips back to his Welsh colleague Bowen. Ian Crook. Chip forward. What a lovely ball. Bowen can get there. A great goal and one of the best through passes you'll see all season. Bowen strikes again. For the most amazing ball from Ian Crook. Didn't look any danger at all here. Just a little chip, a swerve. The bend was going his way, and a volley into the roof of the net. Terrific goal. So Bowen at the moment knows that Crook can get him going forward if he can maintain his onside position, which he has. There's very little angle. He beats Besant on the near post. And the score is Norwich 1, Chelsea 0. 15 minutes of the game gone, and Mark Bowen with his third goal for Norwich in 3 games. Got to be careful, Norwich, that Chelsea don't catch him on a fast break. Now, Dale Gordon. Rosario wants one over the left-hand side, but playing it safe on the right. Fleck gets a foot to it. So, a throw to Chelsea. Lean forward, looking for Dixon. Bowen is up there, heads it nicely to Crook. Oh, that was a bit of a risk. Oh, that's a bad one, and Wilson might be in here. Wilson holds it up, and they've got time to gather themselves and get out of trouble. Wilson needed support there. That wasn't his fault, but it was certainly Mark Bowen's fault. Well, that was where the old malaise almost struck again. Playing so well, and then suddenly something totally out of character strikes, and almost in trouble. Butterworth forward for Rosario and Clark. In goes Phillips. Bumstead does well. That's a foul by Phillips. David Lee's free kick. Kerry Dixon with the header. Wilson's going to make it difficult for Butterworth. He does. Chasing lost causes and did well. Bumstead to Hazard. There's a lot of room here for Hazard. In goes Dickens, and the goalkeeper dropped it. He claimed he was fouled, but Alan Dickens was close to getting the equaliser there. Now Dorigo. Chelsea with their tails up for the first time. This is Moncau, and a bad one. Well, it wasn't a good cross by Moncau, but it was certainly a very good cross from the right-hand side. Hazard with time to pick his spot. Dickens is coming through from midfield. Out comes the goalkeeper, and there's a problem here. And luckily, it falls to Linnigan. In goes Rosario with Moncau. Holds it up well. Support from Ian Crook. Behind him, he's got Sherwood. Sherwood can drive it forward. Townsend gets in there hard. Good play. Fleck. Norwich moving around well and keeping good possession. Here's Ian Crook. Chip forward to Dale Gordon. Dale Gordon with Lee. Dale Gordon pulling it back. And here's Phillips. A great save. Besson didn't know where it was. What a superb piece of build-up, though, by Norwich City out on that right-hand side. Comes to Dale Gordon on the right-hand side of the penalty area. He does his trick on Lee, pulls one back for Phillips. The goalkeeper saves it, then loses it, isn't sure where it is. Luckily, he recovers first. Here come the two Welshmen, and this could be danger for Chelsea. Bowen with Fleck, and Bowen's going again! He needed to get it on the other foot. He should have gone first time. But he's looking so dangerous. Nobody's picking him up on these runs. It's amazing. Lovely bit of play again. Looking for Fleck for the return. Surely somebody's going to go with him. They don't. Should have hit it first time. He waited a little bit too long, and the tackle from Bumstead came in. Bit worried about the left foot, I think, there. Here's Nicholas, and a little bit too strong for Kerry Dixon. For Tim Sherwood, and that's a good ball over the top for Dale Gordon. Dale Gordon can go, and Moncal gets one challenge in. Can he pull it back now? And Phillips, another brilliant Besson save. Really extraordinary stuff by the Chelsea giant in goal. But it's still Norwich City. Bowen looking for the other fullback, Sherwood. Dale Gordon beaten by Dorigo. 15 minutes of the first half left. Linnigan forward over the top, and Fleck's going to chase this one. He might even make it difficult for Moncal. And he forces a corner. They're really going well at the moment, Norwich City, and Chelsea are hanging on. It is only their goalkeeper, Dave Besson, who's keeping them in the game. A terrific bit of play on the right-hand side by Dale Gordon. Lovely through ball in the first place. Phillips gets the ball eventually, with Gordon showing patience. Lovely volley and instinctive save by Besson. Here's the corner. Dale Gordon on the ball. Linnigan too strong for him. Away by Dorigo. Crook, nice first-time touch. And Bowen to Phillips. Can he get a cross in against Nicholas? It's a good one, and straight into the arms of Besson, with Butterworth going in there. It just needed a hair on it, and it would have been in the back of the net. Curled in. In comes Butterworth, leans at it, doesn't get it. Well won by Moncal, straight to David Phillips though. Townsend under pressure. Dickens back to Dorigo. Now Dorigo with Dixon on the left-hand side, but choosing to play it through the middle of the field. Clark has pushed up. Hazard finds Bumstead. Clark still goes forward on the right-hand side. This is the sweeper pushing up in the spare position. Crook stays with him. And a throw-in. Could have been worse. Now it's Norwich City who've got to mark up tight and keep their concentration. Clark with a lot of space to get across in there. Dickens, and here's the offside flag, I'm afraid. The flag was up long before Kerry Dixon put that one in. And that's John Clark from Harwich. And I think you'll see that he was perfectly correct, and anyhow he's got a much better position than we have. Nice flick on, but isolated there, Kerry Dixon, and the flag was up long before. Crook using space quickly and efficiently. Phillips, it's a hard one for Rosario. And away comes David Lee for the moment. Chelsea with a lot of players in midfield, especially when Clark pushes up from the back. Looking quite strong here. Ricky Hazard to Moncao. Now Peter Nicholas. David Lee coming forward. Defenders quite happy to get forward in attacking positions. Now Dixon can get that well here. In goes Dickens. And the defender blocked it, and it was just as well. Corner only. But Dickens is coming forward from midfield positions very effectively. And that was really dangerous when it was one in the air on that far post situation. Second Chelsea corner. Moncao is in there. Kerry Dixon on the near post. He got it. Oh, that was a good header. He was expecting somebody to be coming in on the far post. That was a fine bit of play. The driven corner, out he comes from the near post, flicked on. Who's there helping him? But really, he couldn't be expected to get that. As the referee blows his whistle for the end of a fascinating first half. A lot of good play from both sides. A tremendous goal in the 15th minute from Mark Bowen. He could have had a couple. He might have given Chelsea one with a dodgy back pass. But for Dave Besant, Norwich City could have had 3 or 4. 2 superb saves in what has been a fascinating game so far. With the half-time score, Norwich 1, Chelsea 0. Welcome back to Carrow Road. The sunshine has gone, the rain is pouring down for the moment, but looks pretty bright on the horizon. And it doesn't look too bad for Chelsea. They could easily have been 4 or 5 down after the first half. They might have scored a couple themselves, but they know at this stage that they are still in the game at only 1-0 behind. Norwich City really now have to start all over again. Mindful of the fact that they can do daft things at home in defence, and they almost proved that in the first half a couple of times. But it's so far been a game of very high technical standards. And Moncao receives there from Dorigo. Out comes the goalkeeper, goes back in again, and Butterworth gets it away. The rain's still coming down and it's slippery out there. Bumstead to Hazard. Peter Nicholas. Bumstead back to Clark, the spare man who came forward in the last 20 minutes effectively on occasions. Dorigo, and an over-ambitious ball to no avail at all. Australian who wrote to a dozen clubs asking for trials. Aston Villa the only one who replied. Paid his own fare over here. Now he's on the fringe of an England place. Well won by Lee, who had a good first half. And Robert Fleck had a fairly quiet one after starting very brightly indeed. It's important for Norwich to get him back into the game. Now Dickens. That's a good bending ball to Bumstead. Lee has come up to support, so has Peter Nicholas. Chelsea have started brightly here. Kerry Dixon turning it to Dorigo. And that was a very, very difficult ball. With Wilson coming in on it and the goalkeeper not quite sure who was going to get it first. That one knocked back very simply by Kerry Dixon. A swipe with the left foot by Dorigo and skidding over the wet grass. Problems for Gunn. Nicholas couldn't judge it. The wind still strong, but not quite as strong. And a good ball for David Phillips. Over goes Clark. In comes Gordon. It was a lovely move, and it was Norwich City on the counter-attack. It was a lovely layoff by Rosario to Phillips. Gordon coming in late and just too far ahead of him. Throw for Norwich. As Chelsea mark up tight, and it goes straight to Tony Dorigo. Wilson controlling, nudged away. Kerry Dixon looking for Bumstead on the far post. Run by Phillips. Hazard. Peter Nicholas knocking it forward, chased by Bumstead and Phillips. And the two Welshmen, with help of the Scottish goalkeeper, get themselves and Norwich out of trouble very neatly. Rosario again with Lee, play on, and there's a chance here for Dale Gordon, and surely it was brought down. It's a penalty. Besant says it was outside, the referee says it's inside. That's on the spot. Well, for one moment they thought that Rosario was fouled, but the referee said go on. Dale Gordon did go on, and he was clearly impeded there by Clark. Down he comes, the referee points to the spot. But watch out for Dave Besant. He saved one in the cup final, of course. He's good at going to the left. He saved one against Arsenal. Not this time, though. 2-0, Robert Fleck. They didn't hang about with this one. Get it on the spot, get it taken quickly, and into the back of the net like a rocket. Perfect start, 5 minutes into the second half. The scorer, Robert Fleck, Norwich 2, Chelsea 0. Robert Fleck up now to 6 goals. That's the sort of burst he and the side needs. Foul, says the referee, on Dixon's appeal. Again, Lee and Moncau coming up. Hazard chips it forward. There's Kerry Dixon. And almost an own goal by, would you believe, Mark Bowen. He's putting in all the telling shots here. That was a difficult ball, as it was knocked onto him by Kerry Dixon rather quicker than he expected it. Nicely chipped forward. Dixon going across the face of the area. Bowen gets it rather quicker than he hoped, and the goalkeeper saves him. It's a good ball to Dickens, and a reasonable interception, but it might come to Dixon. And real power shot that seemed to bounce off the face of Brian Gunn. A very good attempt by Kerry Dixon. Quickly moved through the middle, relayed by Alan Dickens to Kerry Dixon. He doesn't take long sizing that one up, and Brian Gunn surprised by the sheer power of that one. Tricky one with the sun out again very brightly. Rosario and Phillips here. Crook, forward goes Bowen. Bowen's onto it again. Can he pull one back? And here's Dale Gordon. What a finish. Dale Gordon, that looked like a golden opportunity from this angle. It was certainly a very, very incisive move, with once again Mark Bowen coming forward for that chip by Crook, getting down to the line, pulling it back, Gordon running in, spooned it. Double substitution then for Chelsea, with Clive Wilson, who's a left-hand sided player, and McAllister, who's a winger. So Wilson coming over into the centre of the field, actually, in place of Dickens. Hazard has also gone off. So this is all obviously a gambler's hand, with McAllister, who asked for a transfer after being dropped following the defeat by Charlton, back on the right-hand side. A lot of room for Dorigo, but throw wasn't quite good enough. Dale Gordon racing at the defence. Dale Gordon still there. Surely he must get one of these in a minute. Good chance from close in. Good efforts from distance. Keeps moving at some pace. They can't tackle him, but can he get a shot on target? The wind has dropped considerably. Sunshine back though, thankfully, and Chelsea still going forward with aggression. And here goes Wilson, and Gunn stops him well. That was a great tackle, and a perfectly legal one, although 3,000 Chelsea fans don't think so. Good play by Brian Gunn. He's made some telling saves. Lee and Clark. Now Dorigo, of course, is free on the left-hand side, but Clark keeps going. Wilson gives it to Nicholas. Now Bumstead. In for Wilson, lovely turn. Wilson might go. He's got Wilson, the other one, supporting him, but perhaps he took it too far, and there's a corner. But Clive Wilson and Kevin McAllister have made a difference since they came on. And Norwich have really got to watch their step here. Leading by 2 goals, but by no means over yet. Lee and Dixon on the near post. Moncau at the back. Gunn is there. Rosario gets up and he is needed. That's another corner. Peter Nicholas, the captain, coming across to take it once more. Refinding their practice ground positions. Dixon on the near post. Moncau coming in from the back. Flicked on. Gunn touches it on and over. Onto the bar. These are anxious moments for Norwich City. The shorter one flicked back, and Gunn backpedaling just gets there. So is this sequence of home draws going to end for Norwich City? As Rosario comes forward well, finds Phillips, over goes Bumstead to him. Phillips on the good right foot, and that's spinning away off Dave Besant's chest. He's always strong when he comes inside on his right foot, and the target was there, and it skipped dangerously. Third Norwich corner. 2-0 they lead. Linnigan at the back of the box. Away by Peter Nicholas. Phillips. Straight to Wilson now. And Wilson was expecting Dorigo to be on a motorbike, I think. Crook, that's a lovely ball in for Robert Fleck. He can make it 3-0 here. And he didn't seem to attack the ball. Robert Fleck, I don't think he was certain that there was a defender next to him, but instead of controlling the ball first, he worried about it and lost it. He's having a fine game, bearing in mind that it was his pass that opened up Chelsea in the first place, and that first goal is so important. Nice one from Andy Townsend. Sherwood for Phillips, who's come over this side, and the Rosario can get in there and pull one back for Robert Fleck. Robert Fleck hooks it over somehow. They can't seem to do the, what looks like the easy bits, but they do the most difficult. They create the openings. Nice play by Phillips, getting by the Dutchman. Rosario then races onto it. He pulls it back. There's 2 or 3 players who could get it, deflected away well by the goalkeeper, but somehow put over the top by Robert Fleck. And there goes the final whistle. At last, a first home win for Norwich City. Doubly valuable because it consolidates their position among the First Division front runners. Robert Fleck's penalty early in the second half gave them that important second goal. They had many chances. They could have had more. Chelsea kept going, to their credit, looking for some sort of consolation, but Norwich City clearly the better side here, and they look good for this victory. The final score is Norwich 2, Chelsea 0, and the spell is broken.
Andy, a good clear win. You have won at home at last. What sort of a performance was it from your point of view?
Well, I thought that we played very well. I mean, you know, we created lots of chances, missed 1 or 2. But, yeah, you know, it was a good performance. Lads defended well. Gunny kept a clean sheet. You know, you can't ask for no more, really. We could have, you know, perhaps won it 4 or 5, really. They had the odd 1 or 2 chances, you know, and had little bit of the game first half, but I think generally it was a fair result.
Do you remember that one early in the first few moments which
No, mate,
you
no,
stumbled against? Now, what happened there? Because that looked as though it might set the tone for the day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I just made a run. I remember Bob give it to Flecky, and then Flecky put me in, you know. And as I've sort of run onto it, I looked up to try and knock it past Dave. Just clipped the bottom of my left foot and stuck in the middle of my legs, you know. Like a wally, you know. I ended up missing it, but no, the lads made up for it. You know, I've got to leave them to Taff because I mean, after all, he is a fullback. He's expected to score every week.
I know he's getting these goals regularly, internationals and consecutive games. That was a lovely through ball for him from Crook, wasn't it?
Tremendous ball. I mean, yeah, Taff picks it up there and he gives it inside to Chippy, and he goes now. Taff's on his way, look. And when Chippy gets it, I mean, that sort of ball there, really, you know, if Glenn Hoddle had done that, everyone would be raving about it. You know, that's a great ball, and Taff showed me the way there. Whack it straight in, head down. Brilliant goal.
But he's amazing because not only is he looking very confident in the penalty area, but he's getting there so many times.
Yeah, I mean, that's credit to the way we play. I mean, anyone out there, the outfield players really can find themselves in a situation, perhaps apart from Andy Linnigan and Ian Butterworth, you know, obviously they're at the back, but everybody else can find themselves in situations to get forward and pop up with goals. I mean, and Mark is looking like scoring every week. You know, not only one, I mean, he had a couple of other half chances, maybe with a bit of luck he could have scored again. And
you got a break early in the second half when Dale Gordon was pulled down. Did you have a view of that one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think the ball was played out to Dale, yeah, and he cuts inside and he just beat the fella there, and now he's in on the goals. And he's just beat Steve Clark for a bit of pace there, and a little foot comes out, look, and down he goes.
Penalty?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't, you know, Dale's a fairly honest sort of lad, and I don't think he's going to be the type to just fall over.
Did you relax at all? There were chances that popped up and the game wasn't buried, didn't seem to be buried for a long time.
Well, it isn't. 2-0 can be a dangerous score. I mean, you know, if you get one more, then the game is cut and dried. But if the opposition were to sneak one, then all of a sudden, you know, the doubts start creeping back in your mind, you know. So, no, it was, you know, at that time, it was important that we just kept our shape and kept everything nice and tight, which I think we did.
Well, one of the comments from Chelsea manager Bobby Campbell afterwards was, if you're able to watch Norwich play like that every week, you don't know how lucky you are. Well, news and action next from the rest of the region's teams, and a blast or two from the past after this break. Well, Norwich 89 vintage we've seen, a reminder of the 60s and 70s still to come, but now it's news of what went right and wrong around the region this weekend. Here's Kevin.
Yes, no shortage of goals again this week, or indeed penalties. Some of them scored, most of them missed. Before the action, though, let's just take a look at how the top of Division 1 looks today after that win for Norwich. And there they are, third in the table, with the big two right up there again. Liverpool just a point ahead of Arsenal, and